Let's get this thing straight. Um, well, some people celebrating Father's Day. Some people celebrating first day of summer. Could be summer vacation. Could be in your travels. Welcome aboard. Hope you're doing good on this Sunday. Hope you're doing well. And we're going to get this thing together. It's a lot to get into. Let me get this thing together. Thing. Let's see if I can get this thing together. Trying to get this thing together. I'm hoping that I can get it. Trying to figure out. It doesn't let me do this thing. I gotta get this thing right. I never know how it's gonna be. Trying to get this thing right. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Trying to get this thing right. It just doesn't want to cooperate. Let me get this thing. I am back now. Trying to get this thing on. They won't let me go live. Well, I can answer put my question. Trying to get this thing right. We are live today. It is Sunday. I'm just trying to see what people are doing and we're standing right here today. How y'all doing out there? Hope everybody's doing all right. Trying to get this thing right. If I can get this thing cranking. Trying to get my question up. Hope everybody's doing good today. It is Sunday. And I'm trying to get this thing going good. We're gonna be doing good. We're just in the moment. Got some live videos I'm going to do, and we're going to talk about some different things. So we'll see. We'll talk about some things. I think we will. We got for definitely looking forward to conversation. I'm sure it'll be kind of slow today because it is a holiday, and I'm just starting out today.
You can now get thousands of pounds towards new windows and doors, and you don't need to be on benefits to qualify. If your windows or
An actor known for being Elf's boss in the classic Christmas movie faced a Hillsborough County judge today. He's charged with contempt of court after not making child support payments, but he was released today on time served. Fox 13's Evan Axelbank joins us in the newsroom now with more on the challenges this actor's facing.
Faison Love is living a hard life. His royalty checks from Elf are generally over $10,000, but that's what he lives on for the entire year. His car is from 1999, and he's had to live in it for a month at a time. Here he is in court today as he faced charges of contempt. He sat in a wheelchair as he explained to a judge that he has so little income, there's no way to pay child support to a woman who lives in Tampa. Judge sentenced him to time already served, which in this case is 16 days. Now he must file the appropriate paperwork to avoid being charged again. He owes $250,000 in child support payments, but he told the judge that he's gone his entire years without making any income. Entire years. He was even supposed to work on a movie this week, but could not because he was in jail.
And they're painting him as a complete villain, and I don't think that's necessarily the case. I mean,
Okay, I got just burning story. Okay, gotta check that out.
I think he wants to act. He wants to write.
I think that'll get my attention. Hmm. So how you doing? How you doing? And I will be on. I'm gonna see if anybody comes on today. I know there's the holiday, and I can understand that holiday weekend. There's a lot going on, so I understand. I'm not oblivious to it. I'm not oblivious to it. We are good to go. Yeah. Just can't quite get this thing straight, so I'm just trying to figure this out. Some I'm trying to work on. Mm-hmm. What's happening? How you doing? Feel free. I'm live and I'm in color. I'm just doing some reading right now. I got some reading I do. I got an interesting take. Okay, I have to read this. I get you wondering what's got my attention. Well, what got my attention? No, I don't want him back. I don't want him back. He too old. Um, I've already told you. I think I've had the discussion before. Me and Giannis, take your butt to Golden State. Or take your butt to Minnesota. Get rid of Gobert. Uh, make Julius Randle a mid ranger. Get him like Cat. Giannis will be your box, and get yourself a durable point guard. There you go. Because to me, those are two obvious spots. Now, if he wants to run wild and crazy, I'll tell you in just a moment. Or take your butt to Houston because Udoka could do something with you. Let me tell you why. 5 years ago, yes. Now, no. He's broke goods. He, if we get him right, you got to give up the farm. You can lose Hero, and we don't have enough butt we don't have enough butt in the pants to really get him. Unless you get rid of Bam and you use that 83-point game as your cash out. Then what you got? And Giannis be getting hurt a lot. So unless, of course, I knew you were going to get a dynamic guard to go with him, somebody that could co-sign with him, then yeah. The Heat aren't a title contending team. So why would I waste my time on a name brand of a guy that ain't going to really mount to much when we don't have the parts? I'd only want him if we were close to a chip. We're not close to a chip. We're closer to potato chips than we are to a chip. Yeah, see. I'm not one of those kind of people that, oh, we get him, we get him. If we had something to work with, yeah. No. Wow, how you figure? LeBron old. Giannis is breaking down. Why would you say that? Oh, if this was about 5 years ago, I'll give you that. 5 years ago, you could have put Giannis with Kawhi Leonard, and that would have been the team to beat. You put Giannis with Jimmy Butler. That's because I can't get this thing stream. But I am live. It's just that it's not letting me. I can't do what I want to do. It's acting funny. There's something going on. There's a strange. To restart this thing up again. This thing's acting kind of funny. How you doing? What's up? Good to see you. Appreciate you coming through. No, because they've done 10 years and they've gotten the two finals. They 1-1, and they're not a better team. And I don't think they're going to get any better. You see, they need a change. Happy summer to you. Thank you for wishing you the best. They need a change. The problem is this. Brown and Tatum got what the other need. And they got the sum of the parts, but together it's not as dominant as it should be. And they are one of the dumbest teams I've ever seen. Okay? Because I'm gonna tell you a story. This team should have about 2 or 3 trips to the final and probably 2 or 3 rings right now. And they got 1 ring and 1 runner up to show for in a decade. And they didn't. How many times have they blown 20-point games, leads? They're just one of the dumbest teams I've ever seen. And no, neither one of them are gonna make you forget Paul Pierce or Larry Bird or Bill Russell. They're a dumb team. And Joe Mazzulla is lucky that he got that chip. or he be eating potato chips because it's embarrassing. They are not a good team. I don't know what's going on with this thing. It's acting kind of funny. It's cool. How you doing? I thought so too. Good. Thank you for asking. Appreciate you. I thought so too. I thought them, Denver. I thought Boston more than anybody. Okay, I'm gonna say this. It was a stupid injury too. He threw his body when they blew a game. They blew 3 games. To who? Who did they throw 3 or 4 games to? The team that won the chip this year. Think about it. And everybody hates Jason Tatum. And then after that, it's a lot of gimmick ball because Pritchard does his thing. I like Devin White, but Joe Mazzulla gotta be strung out or something. How do you be blowing 20-point leads back to back years and just set yourself up for failure? I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get the Celtics at all. And Celtic fans can feel free to hate me if they want to. I don't care. You a dumb team. Because a smart team would have won 2 or 3 more rings, and they are underachieving. Yeah, he wasn't nowhere else. He just been hurt a lot. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you, Charlene. How you doing? He just been hurt a lot. He hurt in the head though more than anything. He It's a trip. Um, as far as getting things done structurally, he's better. But I don't know. Missoula just I don't know. They don't have no discipline. They play like a team that's not disciplined. They have no discipline. And they play laxical. I watched them play. And they should have multiple rings. Them and Denver should have been battling. Them and OKC should have been battling. And why they got 1 ring and 2 finals appearances to show for it? They shoot threes. It's not just they shoot threes too much. They just the end. They systematically act like they schizo. They play good for a half, then they go cold, and then they fall off, and then that's all you get. And that's a very bipolar way of playing ball. And I just think that you know, um, you play like that, you're going to get the results you're getting. Well, Charlene's asking me about this. This is funny. You asking me about the Celtics like you hip on them now. That's pretty impressive. They just don't play cohesive ball. And when you don't play cohesive, you know, Jalen Brown. Yeah, I do. I agree with him on that take. I don't agree with him on that Jordan crap he be on, but I agree with him on that take. They are trying to force it. There's truth to what he's saying. He ain't, people don't like to hear stuff because they do force you to fanboy on some people. I now all his hating on Jordan is one thing, but when he says that they're trying to force women, I do. I agree. They do. They have an agenda. They if you um point guard, because very few shooting guards are dominant. And once you get past Jordan, Dwayne Wade, and Kobe, how many two guards have taken over as much? That's more of a recent phenomenon too. Really, it's always been the point guard. Um, I agree with him on that. I consider him a point guard. I know actually I consider him a two. I consider him a two, but he could handle the rock though. Oscar Robinson's more of a point guard. He's a shooting guard to me, and he was great. But you can have whatever you want musically. We got no problems. We can always decide who we think someone adds something musically or not. It's all good. It's fair game. No one's going to be held accountable. Like if you got, whatever we talk about, we might disagree, but we can talk it out though. I like older movies, but if you ask me about anything, if I see anything lately that rattles my rings my chimes, no. I found myself just watching the oldest. Oh, Kate Cunningham. Pritchard is a streaky second tierish, third tierish player. It's no comparison. Kate Cunningham is considered one of the six or so best players going today. Peyton Pritchard is a bench cat that what I would say in the second tier range, who can be streaky as all get out. They're not the same. It's not even up for discussion. I mean, it's almost a disrespect to Cade because Cade is a dude that you look at him as an upper tier. Pritchard can get hot, but when he gets hot, that's so because after Payton and Tatum done damage or Devil or White's done White, it ain't because of him. He's like fourth, fifth option. No, I don't have to watch that mess. I mean, I got a video I'm going to do about them being called the greatest team. Well, I'll say. The Knicks. What do I think about them being called the greatest team? I'll do a video about that. I got a take on that. They are an intriguing team. I'll say that. What you mean Orlando Magic versus the Sixers? You talking about who I think is a better team, or you? What are you talking about? If you're talking about the history, it's the Philadelphia Sixers in a blowout because Orlando's only been to two finals, and the Sixers have won rings and been to multiple finals. Oh, the Sixers. Even right now, because Pablo Bonchero kind of underachieved. They're not. They're not quite where they need to be. They got a good squad. They got a chance to be a better team, but again, they're not breaking it though. That's not gonna happen. I've seen what they got. Nick Nurse. I like Maxie. They're not breaking the curse though. They're not breaking the curse. They're not. It'll probably be another 43 years the way they are. They have gotten to a finals though. So it's not like they didn't get to a finals. So that's kind of how I look at it. Yeah, it'll probably be another long time before they win anything again. Yeah, because I remember 444. Dirk. But Cat is going to be looked at a lot more favorable because he deferred, he fit a role, he came up big, he had a certain synergy about him. But Dirk's a better pure everything, though. So it's, I understand the logic, though. The Knicks, you live in New York. I mean, that's pretty self explanatory. They just got to win the championship. Cleveland ain't winning nothing. Yeah. It's not up for discussion, though. And you could use the Cleveland rank 10 years ago, but the Knicks are better. Now they better. Buffalo Bills for me. Buffalo Bills. Hmm. Yeah, I've already told everybody knows that the Bills are my favorite team. James Harden. Halliburton did get his team to the finals, but if you're going by resume, uh, yeah, Harden's gonna get that dub. Oh, that's a good one. Michael Vick, because those others do got a ring, and considering his level of talent, he did underachieve. If I'm honest, now talent wise, he's better than all of them, but he's also over under. So I hate to say it. I would have said name, but Donovan is better, but he don't come up with nothing that matters. So, but you know, so I got to take DM. Mm. Yeah, I have to say Donovan. I have to say the better shooting guard is Donovan. Let's see what we got. Come on now. Do Google, because like if you ask me about the Cowboys and Seahawks, are you asking me about today or you asking me about all the time? Please do your homework on that, because that is one of those kind of questions that's a rhetoric. Because if you're talking today, it's the Seahawks. If you're talking all the time, it's the Cowboys. I got to put Torrey Holt in because he does got a ring and he came up big. That's the difference. I like Steve Smith a lot. Ted Ocho, his antics were Hall of Fame, but uh he was a broke Terrell Owens. He was, you know. Now this is a good question here. The NFL Super Bowl. The NBA Finals has a lackluster thing because they always got an agenda. The Super Bowl kind of you're sitting here like, wow, I didn't know that was gonna happen. I would have said Smith, but because of Holt got that ring, and plus what the Rams did, and I have to be real, I like Smith probably more, but even he would say Holt because of the jury. Sorry, when you come up and you win and you play like that, I can't because Smith wasn't the kind of cat that I necessarily was like bird burn everybody, but yeah, but but I have to give it to Holt. What do you think? What does they say about? Well, the difference is, let me explain. So before you call cap on me, let me explain. Randy Moss and T.O. are the second and third of my all-time greatest receivers. Okay. Megatron or borderline top 10 fits. The difference is Holt and Smith are more closer to what I call lower first, high second tier. Ocho Cinco is not in the conversation. He good, but he was never those guys. And when he went to New England, he stunk. So Holt and Smith are my options. Well, Holt came with big. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that Holt belongs in the conversation with Moss and T.O. He doesn't. Does he belong in the conversation with Megatron? That's debatable. Fitzgerald? No. Marvin Harrison Jr.? No. So there are tiers to this. There are sections that I have. Um, no, I think NFL Super Bowl is more exciting, especially if it's the last second drive. It can be everything. NBA Finals Game 7 wasn't even that memorable last year. And that was a 7-game series. To start my team, I'm taking Fitz. He gave me everything. Julio's more talented. He just don't score no touchdowns. He might be like one of the best sidelines guys that can stack with the best of them. He just don't score no tubs. His skills was sick, but he didn't put nothing in the end zone. He had that catch in the Super Bowl against New England, and that was a great catch. They just didn't score and end up, yeah, yeah. That was a strange situation. That whole thing with Matty Ice was strange. Still to this day, how they blow that lead and they had the momentum and just went dumb, and I just don't know. Maybe they took a dive. I don't know. Would I be surprised they took a dive? No. And y'all do know what I mean by taking a dive. Yeah, I never understood that either. Just look at Shelly. Well, yeah, Seattle was trying to be cute, and they should have given the ball to Marshawn Lynch, but they wanted Russell Wilson to shine. He's one Super Bowl win from being seen as the granddaddy or the daddy to Patrick Mahomes, but he's one loss where he's a guy that there's question marks if he's a Hall of Famer. There's question marks. How long did he fall off? It's just not good. Oh yeah, Belichick is a stickler for that. See, I just did dumb stuff. They just choked that Super Bowl. Yes, they did. They gave that one away. But again, that was. Let's see. Well, Patriots right now. That one feels like you just discovered some football. Because the questions you asking me ain't pertaining to the history of teams. If it's pertaining to the history, it's the Patriots. If it's pertaining to now, it's the Patriots, but it's close though.
Rhythm, and emotional trajectory, the way an architect studies load-bearing walls. And in the Bee Gees, we found builders who operated at the same frequency, songwriters who understood that a groove was never just a groove, it was an emotional delivery system. Barry Gibb later recalled that Jackson once told him, "I want to write songs like you write songs." The king of pop did not say that to many people, but then again, not many people wrote Night Fever. Number 5. The Beatles, Yesterday. When asked to name his 5 favorite
I'm interested in baseball. I'm a huge baseball fan.
The melodies, the feeling, the truth in the music. Very bloody and reactionary.
I'm a huge baseball fan.
It was
Yankees are my
1968.
team.
It was the gold standard, the song that proved a pop record could change the conversation without ever using the dance floor.
Yes, I'm into baseball. I'm a huge baseball fan. Come on now. You can't be asking me stuff about a musician against Carlos is not a singer, but if I'm using his artistry against Mark Anthony, that's like asking me Michael Jackson versus Usher. Is Carlos in a blowout? The only thing Mark Anthony's got over Carlos is that he can sing, but other than that, he can't touch what Santana's did. That's not even fair. That's not funny. I like Mark Anthony. I think he has a good voice, but he ain't Carlos Santana. He doesn't have the impact. If you know the two, you know there's a difference. But if you don't know it, then I understand. I ain't gonna hold it against you. I still love baseball. I think it's great right now. If you watching a guy like Shohei Ohtani, you can't tell me that he ain't must see TV. Guy just had another baby and he had another home run of the night. He's a pitcher. He's a hitter. No, the one of the 10 to 20 I ever saw, but no, he's not the best I ever saw pitch. He's in the argument. I think Roger Clemens was better, but Pedro's in the argument. Greg Maddox, one of the best I ever saw. There's quite a few. Tom Seaver was great that I saw. Steve Carlton was one of my favorites. And it all depends, you know. But Pedro's in the argument. I mean, he's in the art. He belongs in there. But I saw a lot of pitches, and I saw guys who used to pitch complete games. Don't forget about um, Steve Avery, John Avery, Atlanta, John Avery. I saw a lot of guys that were great pitchers. Oh, what you want to do for love in a blowout? And Without You is a good song. Don't get it twisted. It's just that What You Want to Do for Love is one of those songs that that's a standard for as I'm concerned. Just like you can write a great song and then you can write a song that just stands the test of time.
he better than Russell Westbrook all time already? Oh, Russell Westbrook's another one of those overrated players like James Harden. They both came from Oklahoma City Thunder. But absolutely. Is he better than James Harden already all time? Oh, 100%. He's a winner. It takes skill for the
Yeah,
most
he
part.
is because I think that a multi-talented vocalist, but it's just that he wrote a song. It's like
Yes, because again, he's a winner.
I'll say this.
Westbrook's always hurt.
It's like if you watch a boxer
Yeah,
knock a
he's
guy
a
out,
Hall of
right?
Fame, so he's
And he hits you with a
is he better
punch
than Allen Iverson?
and he's
No.
he's great. You look at him, you're like, God, that guy,
Is he better than Anthony
you
Edwards?
know.
Yes. Is he better than Steve Nash? No. Is he better than Tony Parker? It's a real guy. So I'm gonna say no, but a couple more years he could probably be better. Last one. Is he better than Derrick Rose? I think he's better than Derrick Rose. Is Jalen Brunson already a top 50 player all time with a championship? He just won with the Knicks.
So I'd say he was underrated considering his sense of rhythm and his vocals. Cause I tell you like this, there are guys who have been around for a long time and got a lot of hit songs, but they don't have a song like Bobby Caldwell. And that's a money track. You could put What You Won't Do for Love, and that thing is still as cold. The song is almost 50 years old, and that song wipes the floor still with a lot of songs. It's just a cold blooded song. And a lot of people don't understand when you have these discussions about what makes something great, not as much as African Americans. And I don't really want to answer that because people are going to get into this whole thing where they don't want to give black folks their due for hip hop. So I don't want to touch that. Nobody wants black folks to have a say about nothing. Everybody wants to say, well, didn't someone so? You can make a case that other people had some impact, but without black folks tapping against the bricks and beatboxing and stuff, it's not the same. Gwen is the better hitter, but Ricky was the most dangerous. And Ichiro was probably the best stat pattern of the three. He's actually like a link between both of them because he could get you average like Gwen and he has speed like Ricky, but he ain't in the conversation with neither one of them because his team was never a threat. Think about that. And yeah, I'm glad you did that because I can cold break that down for you real quick. Ricky was better than both those guys because Ricky got the most of his skills, and you could put Ricky with almost any team and do it. Now Gwen was a better pure hitter and Ichiro slapstick quickness hustle, but he also got he actually Ichiro. The worst thing that happened to Ichiro was a guy like Shohei Atani, a guy that came and just did the thing full tilt. That's the thing. Because Ichiro was bad for what he did, but then he also was a diva. So I hope I answered that question. I don't want people to think I'm not giving no love to people for hip hop, but I have to keep it 100. There's a lot of people who don't want to give African Americans as the outright creators of hip hop. So I have to like not be in the giving mood because there are some people who want to hate and act like. So I have to do what I gotta do. And if you don't understand it, then I'm sorry. And I hope I answered that question about the baseball one to the best of my ability. And if you like what I said, then you'll like what I say on my channel. Cause no, see, I lived in the Seattle area. There was one of their managers. That's back when their relief pitcher Putz. You can look him up. Google him, Putz. There was an episode. This was after Lou Pinella. The guy got fired, and there was some exchange, and then it did turn sour. That's why he ended up leaving Seattle. He went to the Detroit. He went to the Yankees. He fell out because his tendencies. He just acted kind of uppity. And he was bad, but they didn't win nothing. They had that 0-1 season, and then after that, they weren't much ado about nothing. He came up big, but then he just started being a stat padding cat who could get on base quick and did great things, but it didn't triculate into what it should have done. So yeah, he turned some people off. It should be out there. It should be out there. you know, and it turned some people off. That's what happened with him. That's what happened with him. They do this stuff all the time. They mess me up with this mess. So I was like, I'm losing. I had to lose an hour. I don't know why I got to lose an hour all the time. And then I got to do this thing again. Okay, if y'all on here, let's get this thing going. I got a question now. But that's a great question. For me, either her first album, I'd say probably or the Like a Prayer record. Those are like my two. More like her greatest hits. I never really thought she made an album that I was, what I'd say in hindsight, I was knocked out over. She was a strong singles artist though. And I think that you could throw her catalog up against a lot of people. I think that when you look at the Madonna arsenal, her catalog is strong. But as far as like an album oriented, now this is the thing, and I'll get into some trouble with this. Janet Jackson made two albums that I like better than Madonna, but Madonna had the better career. And usually, if I pick somebody with an album, they have to back it up. But Madonna's songs overall were better. But I think Janet, I could debate Control and Rhythm Nation. But I think Madonna's catalog of hit songs were better. And so I have to say that, you know. And if I did have to push a Madonna album, it's probably her first or Like a Prayer. Those two come to mind. And like I said in the 80s, she almost couldn't do no wrong. False. Not even close. I'm sorry. Did you forget about Tiger Woods? Did you forget about Serena Williams? I'm sorry. Does he got more rings than Shaquille O'Neal? Does he got more than Steph Curry? Does he, does he got more than Kobe? What's not even close? He's not better than Tiger Woods and Serena Williams. So those two alone, he ain't in a neighborhood. He ain't better. He didn't dominate like Roger Federer did with men's tennis. The Djokovic argument is interesting. Nadal, I don't know. So I got those alone got him beat. Was he more dominant than Barry Bonds? No. Barry Bonds was something else, so no. If you're talking about the video I did where he said that it was more blacker back then, it's more white and corporate now, yes. As long as he doesn't, like, I agree with him about Eminem about the overratedness, but as long as he doesn't make it personal, then But what he said about hip hop being more the way, oh yeah, I agree. I agree. Because back in the day, it was black and they didn't know what to do with it. And if you were of a certain age, you remember Walmart wasn't selling hip hop in stores. That became a recent phenomenon. They didn't know what to do with hip hop. They didn't. They was those were they acted like they were scared. But if they were, they weren't. There was all kinds of protests, all kinds of stuff. I'm old enough to remember when the Chronic was scary. No, he's not. Nope. You forget the Tiger Slam was in '00s. Did you forget about 2002? The Tiger Slam? He dominated. And he dominated more. So even if I don't include the Masters in '97 or anything in '99, he dominated more. He still won 13 titles in he was dominant. He was top dog. Serena Williams too. That's more than LeBron James. That's more than LeBron James. You go ask somebody, okay? Go ask somebody and see what they tell you who ain't biased. That was a token gesture because Anthony Davis would have gotten it if LeBron doesn't pat Stan. And how did that turn out for the Lakers since then? Have you been to a final since then? How many Western Conference finals have you been to since then? One? How many times did you get knocked out, didn't make the playoffs since then? Hmm? So what did it really do? Because he didn't do that. If he had deferred to Anthony Davis like he did to Luka, the Lakers would be in better shape right now. His antics and hustle. Why did Frank Vogel get fired again? Why did Darren Ham get fired again? Come on now. Y'all lost. Y'all on your third head coach in what, 6 years? Come on. Flipped your script. Come on. He wasn't made of glass in that finals. When he hit that outside shot against the Nuggets, he said, Kobe. Was he glass then? No, LeBron didn't feed his ego. He has to feed Luka. See, that's the difference. So did LeBron that year, too. I remember. And they lost to Phoenix. But that's not the point. The point is they still had DeAndre. Was it who did they have? Who did they get? That they were saying it's like the new Kareem. Not Joe. I forgot who they got. Drummond. Yeah. I don't know if they would have beaten them because they had no answer for Devin Booker. And they should have still been able to beat him. They didn't. Yeah, new Kareem. So I remember that crap. So don't tell me that when they went out and got a center and that still didn't wasn't enough. No, they butts got exposed. And he didn't allow AD to mature. He didn't hold AD accountable. And so that's what happened. I hold that against LeBron on that note. There's certain things that I think if he had a deferred, if he had a he defers with Austin Reeves and he defers with Luka. Let him do that with AD, and it may have been a different situation. Especially when you want to be like your Magic, like you all around game. So okay, points, rebounds, assists. That makes no difference. LeBron doesn't know how to hold on the leads. What happened? I know Cleveland Golden State, but he stunk in game 4 against Golden State in the finals. He doesn't know how to hold leads. You should be able to beat Phoenix. Shouldn't you have been able to beat Phoenix? What happened? You choked. Ain't no excuses. Play through it all. There is no excuses. So I don't want to hear it. I don't like Laker fans be up there copping, please. Listen, this ain't the courtroom. You choke, you choke. You win, you win. Ain't nobody gonna feel sorry. Said, well, we ruined your handicap. No, you lost. He took advantage of when Draymond Green missed that situation in Golden State. So I don't want to hear it. It's fair. It's equal opportunities. That's part of the game. People get hurt. Sad to say. We can all play woulda, coulda, shoulda. But I crack up when I got the LeBron X. Like, oh, well, if he had a head, no, he didn't. Should you play with what you got or you don't play at all? All right, people are split on Father's Day. That's cool. You know what? In some ways, he kind of did because we'll never know about those 2 years that he missed. And they like to make it sound like like it was more than he was. He doesn't have any. His resume is it's not better than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's. It's a great resume, but it's not like And please don't do this because I know what the LeBron fans always try to do because they try to say, "Well, what about you're not in Michael Jordan's territory? You're not in his league, okay? So stop the cap, okay? Stop." LeBron is like Chris Brown and Usher, and Jordan is like Michael Jackson. So stop, okay? Once you saw the Michael movie, just like the Last Dance, you saw the standards. Now, Michael Jordan is not my favorite player ever, but compared to LeBron James, he's 100 miles beyond. It's not even close. Cause I know what it was like, what the way guys used to have the ball back then, and you don't have the half. You can manipulate today. You don't have the half of what you had to do back then. You don't. I like Open Your Eyes by Bobby Caldwell. See, he's welcome to come on here, but I will say it to his face that you're not nowhere near a top 5 player. Not for not and I'm gonna call the cap on him because okay, you gonna be assist rebound man with points, right? Make your teammates better. He doesn't do that. Magic Johnson's the only guy I ever seen who could score 2 points and beat you. If LeBron James doesn't score his token, he ain't no Michael Jordan. He ain't no Magic Johnson. He ain't no Shaq. He ain't no Bird. He ain't no Kareem. He's not those guys. And when I say it like that, he doesn't belong in the same conversation because if he did, he'd have more rings. He'd be more dominant. He ain't dominant enough. Yeah. It looks like it's the real thing. And for some people, it appears the real thing. It ain't the real thing. You know. And that's the problem. And he's also because he stat pads. It's like Drake's situation. No wonder why they friends. You stat pad under a false way. She ain't lying. She ain't lying. It's a false. It looks like more than what it is, and people be capping all the time. So I ain't got no problem with it. I agree with her. There's a lot of cap artists out here today that wanna push turkeys up like they deep like that, and they're not. They're not. They're not. And I don't like it. What's happening? How you living? Glad you came through. Thank you for coming through. Oh, he's very soothing. Very talented dude. You know, he's one of those artists that, Now, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that he belongs amongst the greatest of the greats. I ain't gonna say that. But he was a very talented cat. But what he did, he hit with a song that you can't deny. He was reckless with his money. You know what they say, a fool and his money shall part. You spend money on frivolous stuff. You for around run the bills with bad watches and bad credit, then you're gonna have those problems. He got no one to blame but himself. You know. Shoot, and he been getting over fighting chickens and hens and foxes and fighting all kinds of YouTube content creators. I didn't get in the ring with him, but he be. I mean, look at his track record. Shoot, and this is the thing. He had made himself into a personality. I don't know how charismatic he is, but he actually has something going for him. But Oh, thank you so much. You got to send me your link so I can do your live show. I'll do your live show. Highly successful. You got to let me know when you do it. I'll check you out. Yeah, I saw that. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna talk about it, but Angel Reese did a double double and they beat him. I'm glad for her. I'm glad you came through. I know you're a busy man, got a lot going on. Congratulations, happy Father's Day, etc. And to all the people who celebrate, appreciate you coming through. I don't know if I'd say highly successful. I think that you're a very distinctive person. Yeah, I'd welcome that. She can play. If listen, side, the side hustles alone and booty shorts and imagery thing and straight up playing, she's better than Caitlin Clark. And straight up, she just focuses on the ball. She good to go. That's all. She's doing good. She's got a double double. She's almost like a Dennis Rodman for. She gets boards and she's scoring. She's good. She can get better too. When she gets better, watch out. Okay, tell me about Discord. What do I gotta do? I'll look into it. Tell me about it. You give me some information, I'll look into it. I got sent a good message too today. Somebody liked my show. They like my channel. I got somebody send me some love today. They said they like the channel, so I never know because I just put my videos and I create. But I need to find out about Discord. Tell me more about it. Don't go ghost on me. Yeah, I keep up with Angel. I like Angel. But now let me get back to you about the thing. No, LeBron ain't the best of the he ain't the best of the 21st century. What's happening, Detroit? What's up, Detroit? Um, in that order. Jalen, after he won, and you know, he's like a Derek Jeter of players. It's well, see, that's stat patent stats there, and for all the hype she gets, that's not really that good. She's got to be able to do something else to add to the team's success. So that's not that good. They just a mid team. And she's bound to have that injury or something goes wrong, It's kind of the same with Caitlin. What you mean how I feel? Do tell. Well, yeah. Yeah. You can't even sell them for a package of Kool-Aid with sugar in top. I mean, it really is embarrassing now. This cat had a chance to be, supposed to have been John Sanders calling the he got spring in his behind. But after that playoff loss to Golden State, he didn't recover. I just think he was trying to do too much. Now we talking about Ja Morant, the basketball player, not Ja Rule. And Ja Rule had more of a career than Ja Morant did. Ja Rule had a career. Ja Morant's one of those guys that teased you. Let's see. Uh, oh, okay. Let me address that. If I got a good stream going, I'd run it for 2 hours. It's just that sometimes it depends on how people come through. But I mean, I I don't have a problem. Oh, who had a better peak? Nelly. Come on now. Nelly was dabbling with McGraw, with Jaheim. He hot in here. I mean, uh, Nelly. I'll take Nelly over Luda. Luda made it more lucrative. I'll say Luda got more out of his career than Nelly. But far as the success part, Nelly was huge, but I think Luda got more out of his career. Um, if I do a combo, it's out of DMX and Jay Z. And I prefer DMX, but I gotta say DMX because he was really, channeling parts of both. And he came out with 2 albums when he first came out, which that might not seem like a big deal today, but at that time, 2 albums within that 7 8 month time period, and a hip hop artist at that. I mean, he was really bringing it. It makes no difference. Nelly was like the closest thing to an LL Cool J for his generation, and he was right. He came out in a very competitive era, and he commercialized, but he was able to make a mark. He really was. Jay Z's envious of everybody because most successful artists are always eyeballing what's on your plate. You do know that, and because he didn't hit like DMX did. Of course, he'd be envious. Jay Z had to wait like almost a decade before he hit. DMX came out the gate and had standards, hitting hard. Wasn't easy for Jay Z. Jay always is a bit envious of people. If you follow, you see certain things. I think it's pretty sad because the cat was only 28, 29. I don't know what all he passed on, but it's pretty sad. Well, those lines are long ago been blurred. You know, hip hop doesn't mean the same. That's what the Jamar was talking about, and Jay Z bypassed. When he look at the stuff that he represents. He's going to do business with Target. He got business with the NFL. I mean, look at what he look at, and everything. It is something that black folks have opposed. Now think about it. So I mean, that's how you gotta look at it. But his audience is not the same as you remember. So be very careful who you get excited about. No, no. He blew up because he utilized success with people, period. He worked with R. Kelly. That was big for his business. He worked with Pharrell. He worked with the right people at the right time. Now, his stuff is kind of gimmicky. His stuff is he's smart enough though. Um in that order. That's in that order. In their primes, Ice Cube is starting. And then Nas is coming off the bench and Lil Wayne gets cut. In their primes, Jerry Curl Cube, yeah. I'll take Jerry Curl Cube over Nas. In his back in the day, that 88 through 92, 93, yeah, I'll take in that Cube. Nas has had the better overall run as time went on. But in that, if I stop with that Jerry Curl era Cube, and when he couldn't do no wrong, yeah, it's Cube. Lil Wayne never moved me like those other two. Entertaining, yes, but it wasn't a lot of depth. Not for me and Wayne. So many tears, and I don't even think twice about that because that's one of the coldest songs that. And I liked "If I Ruled the World," but Tupac was just so vulnerable that it worked. He was huge already. What you mean? Had he lived, he was already huge. He wasn't as respected in white world like that, but in our world, he was huge. Are you kidding me? Should look at the careers came out of because of Easy. Man, Easy was a movement, yo. He was already. He's not. He's not much of anything, but he knows how to hustle, and he got his daddy who take care of him. But no, he's never been a what you hold accountable type of artist. You know, he's been kind of reckless and waveless. Yep. No, but you can be black within your community. I'll give you a case and example. R. Kelly. Remember, he had crossover hits, he was bigger within our sect. That's why for all that time people saying King R&B, King R&B. As he never had that. He had hits, but he never hit like that. It wasn't like, that he had been like that. And there are artists like that within our communities, like Frankie Beverly and Maze Syndrome. There's acts that I can mention. Those are black things. Key Sweat. What's happening? How you doing? Key Sweat's a great example. And just because you hood rich doesn't mean that you are, desperate for white acceptance. I just tell it like it is. You don't need it if you got what your audience is built in. Now, come award time and all that, but that's one thing. But I mean, your base covers you. So if your base covers you, you're good. Shoot, I can tell you black artists, like if y'all want to have those kind of discussions on this forum, I can go into those kind of topics because that's down my alley. I used to have a buddy. We used to do that in real time. Talk about people that's the thing that killed off Luther Vandross because Luther was he wanted pop acceptance, and Luther, Freddie Jackson, huge in black world, huge in black world, you know. See, I when back in the day, you had acts that were like that, and we are notorious for people like that. We were notorious. Ozzy Brothers, come on now. And look, I love Maisie freaking Bear. That's not up for discussion. You got to come with some heavyweights. Maze is one of my favorite bands. Don't get it twisted, but Ozzy Brothers is a whole nother level. Whole nother level. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, and always glad you're coming through. I'm going with Biggie. Biggie. I was having a discussion today about Biggie. He, you know, his versatility was scary, and he could take your flow. Now, even though Pac was a huge influence on him, he could take your flow, and he could go places. And if you text more people, they're gonna take Biggie, I believe. I always appreciate hearing when people give a shout out to the channel. Thank you so much. I don't sit around listening to beef from like that no more, but I'll say this: it's Big. 50 did what he had to do, and he was like a. If he was a boxer, he pounded himself enough to get credibility. But his big picture wasn't gonna be battling rapping nobody. As far as lyrics, I gotta give Biggie the edge because Biggie really connected more so. Biggie, Biggie Movie. I like I like some of 50 stuff. I mean, How to Rob is still one of my favorite debut joints. And, yeah, Biggie was like he was funny with it. He's like, I'm black, ashy, and cross-eyed, and got all the lazy eye and got your girl. I mean, his humor, his antics, and it was like wow. And give Diddy props. Diddy was smart to see that hey, this dude is something else. Cream. He had flow, he had tenacity, and he had that rawness, which was gonna, and a good strong hook guy too. I mean, just a lot of stuff going on. A Wu Tang. Okay. I liked him more at the time, but I thought Speech was too full of himself. He thought he was on some Prince tip, Sly Stone, like he was gonna be some deep. And it wasn't because I heard a story about how he got funny with Patrice Russian, and she was just trying to expand his vocabulary, and he just corny. And that Zumalumi, what's that third record after the Unplugged? That mess went glad bag. Nobody tripped. Um, I like Love on Top of Love, Crazy in Love, and I say probably Me, Myself, and I, if I can pick three. And most of that stuff's back when she started. Uh, uh, uh. Macaroni, yo, is number one. Potato salad and baked beans is third. If I had to go that route. Yeah, I'm not messing with no baked beans. Time of year and all that. Potato salad, if it's good, I love it. Mac and cheese is first. Yeah, what happened was that she was a story that he speech talked about how he got funny with her. She's trying to throw some knowledge his way, and that turkey thought he was gonna just, morph into some superstar, and so that he had a chance to, she was gonna show him some game. She liked what he was doing. I'm not gonna mess with it. I don't want to go through nothing. It's not my thing. Yeah, a good macaroni is tight if it's done right and it's layered, and I can do different things with it. So that's how I look at it. Okay, I got a half hour more because I'm gonna be live for a half hour more. My next day on here will probably be about. Let me see, maybe Tuesday. I think maybe Tuesday afternoon. Oh yeah, oh yeah. So many layers to her that goes without saying, and her contributions are so vast that it doesn't even begin. Shoot, you watch the Steve Harvey show, and she does the theme for that. I mean, she's on different shows. Her credits run the gamut. Um, she had a what I call a good career. A Ruckers. So I got respect. You know, but she doesn't get the kind of love that she should. You know. She runs circles around a lot of people, but they don't, you know. So, but we're not in a time period where people care about that. They only care about hey, you got to hit. in that order for me, because Donna Summers runs circles around both of them put together. You know, I feel about her. And Sherelle cannot sing Beyonce, but Beyonce ain't got no song like those two got, so that's what's up. So when I look at it, I think Donna Summer and Sherelle. And then you're saying, mm-hmm. That's how I look at it. You know, we all got our own way of how we look at these, approach these type of artistries, and so it just. But that's how I look at it, though. You know, Donna Summers is clearly like, yeah, Beyonce got the bigger star power, but star bench cut. You got to start Busta Rhymes. That's why I don't like some of these, because I don't. Q-Tip is important as a leader, but his solo stuff don't really quite move me like that. Pooba is more of a voiceover, but he ain't really like that dude. So I'd say Buster, you start bench Q-Tip, and you know, not his solo career. He got clown when he tried to be a big Willie. Vibrant thing and all that stuff didn't really hit. Now with Tribe Called Quest, I'll give you that. If you want to talk about a front man with a rap group, I'll give you that. Solo career, not so much. Well, it's because you like Beyonce. That's how that is. Now, Beyonce might be a better vocalist, but does she have a Saturday Lover in her canon? No. Yep. She doesn't have a song like that in her catalog. See, I gotta go by the songs. She's bigger than Sherelle, but I can't say she's necessarily better. I didn't mean to turn you on. Still sounds good 40 years later. How many people sit around and talk about Beyonce songs from 20 years ago? That's all I'm saying. Bad girls. And that's not even slick that you're trying to do that, because Bad Girls just has a unique groove to it. And it was funky too. I like Saturday Love, but Bad Girls is just a wicked cut. Yeah. I'd say if you wanted to say singing, because Sherelle said herself that since she worked with pretty much with Jan Lewis, she didn't get to really showcase her singing. She has more popularity. She ain't got more songs. She got more popularity. Most of her songs aren't that memorable. Yeah, she got her beat by a couple songs, few songs. But when I say that, I'll take Saturday Love over anything Beyonce's done though. I'm going with Alexander O'Neal because I love All True Man. Was I like Jerry Levert, but he didn't he was more of a writer who happened to hit. And Casanova wasn't his biggest solo song. That's what Levert anyway. So you doing the disrespect. He wasn't solo when he did that. I like that last song he did. Funny, ain't it funny? But no, Casanova was with the guys. That's what Levert. Yeah. Okay. Let's turn a little bit better than I thought it was gonna be. 50% on the Father's Day. That's cool. So that's what's going on with that. So yeah. Okay. So we got so far. Let's see. Wilson, I don't compare a solo with a group. That's not fair. But if I had to pick, I'd take Will. But I don't like to pick a whole person against a group. That's like someone asking me, like Michael Jackson gets her from the fire. That's not fair because you putting up a whole thing. But Jiggy, I like that song, but that's a Levert song though. Solo career not the same. Let's type oh, in that order. Because Chris Cornell was my dog. Soundgarden was my favorite of that sound. Alice in Chains was something that I did like them, but I always thought they were a tier below Soundgarden 2 would be last. Louis Armstrong. There you go. You said give you a great one. He the first one comes to mind. Louis Armstrong. Because you could debate was his vocals, you could debate his trumpet playing. He was a top tier in both fields. One of those guys that should be studied if you don't. Yeah. It's like, yeah. I said Armstrong. Miles Davis would tell you that too. I mean, the guy was pitch perfect. I liked him as a bass player. Now, if you're talking about a guy who played on the most sessions than anybody ever, that's the fact. But Ron Carter. But if I'm talking about a guy that was front line, hook, line, and sinker, you can't really top Louis Armstrong. And maybe we said Duke Ellington or something like that, but Armstrong was a beast, yo. I don't think people realize how great that cat was. Scratching, his syncopation, the way he goes, squat, wop, wop, when he would do that freestyle, Wes Montgomery, I like the love as a guitarist. And they got blew up after he was almost 50. That's the crazy thing. Couldn't imagine that today. But she asked me the first one that came to mind was Louis Armstrong. Wes was a bad boy. And I like this record solo and then the stuff he did with Jimmy Smith on organ. Those were some smoking tracks. Wes was a huge influence on a lot of people. So was Charlie Christian. So there's a lot of them. There's a lot of great jazz musicians, but I just mentioned the one that came to mind. Uh, let's see. Weather Report. No, that's a band, though. Wayne Shorter. Yeah. Should tear an organ up, make an organ talk. A lot of people don't even know he played that 20-second riff on Bad. That little organ solo that's on Bad. That's him. But what got me, when I knew that was almost inevitable, he's gonna be doing something, because James Ingram is from Akron, like he was, and so One More Rhythm, back on his '83 debut album on Quest Records, the It's Your Night album, he played on One More Rhythm. You know, the funny thing about with jazz is that I never heard it used for that, because I remember reading Miles Davis and the way John Coltrane, they played like they were frustrated. So it depends on what you're listening to. Some of the cats, the tension would be so strong in their playing that you could almost think they were getting, what they were saying. So that's interesting. It has a chill. It has many emotions. I can buy that. You know. It's a quiet taste and it's one of those sophisticated tastes though. And if you've been hurting and looking for like redemption, there you go. So yeah. But I appreciate you sharing it though. I listened to it because it took me to a safari. It was almost like a journey into another place. And but it's brought a lot of different emotions though. So but I appreciate you sharing it though. No doubt. Well, Louis Armstrong belongs in that conversation, yo. Sure. Again, Miles Davis will tell you Armstrong was a precursor to Miles, okay? And Armstrong was there when Duke was balling, okay? Armstrong's a bad dude. He did smooth, he did all kinds of styles. He's a bad dude. You know, Charlie Bird Parker had done it before him, and so did Louis Armstrong. So, what's it says, man? I find it's gonna be. I still like his stuff, like shake it fast, warm it with, you know. But he was gimmick ball, and he been into a whole lot of other stuff. So, but I mean, if I like something he did, he once he got out of No Limit, he got better. But he just reckless. Yeah, I think I seen that. Aaliyah back and forth, cause she and R. Kelly couldn't do no wrong for me. That'll always be a cut. That song still bops. You know, it always bop for me. Miles, but I got much respect for Coltrane. I got a lot of respect for Coltrane, but Miles though, he just had the pulse of him, and he had him in his band before he became Coltrane too. Before Coltrane blew up, before that, you know, I like his strong playing. If I go by his strong playing, but Miles's composition and the fact that Miles was more versatile with his artistry, I think Coltrane didn't get a chance to get into the fusions is quite extensive. You know, plus Miles gave me something like Sketches of Spain, so you know. But it's a close battle though. No. Okay. What's happening? Tony. Cause that's a double look at what you put up against either if I just go musical, Tony. If I go commercial, Tony. Because let me explain. Raphael Sadiq, as much as I like Stokely, he's not seeing that. What's up? He's not seeing that music. I'm talking about that. Pancho Sanchez with his Latin percussion, his bongo playing. If we talking about that same cat, yeah, Pancho, Pancho, and I want to say Joe Zalinelli, who was a keyboardist for Miles. I think they did something together. I think so. I like mint condition far as they're playing. Oh, I'll tell you this: if you put Stokely's voice with Tony's music or replace it with Raphael, they'd be bigger. But the problem is that Stokely and Raphael combined broke Walmart baby faces as far as solo artists. Neither one of them got it. Stokely is a tight drummer. Raphael Sadiq's a tight producer arranger, but neither one of them got what it takes to be a lead artist. They don't have that it. So Bobby Lyle's brother used to a guy named Donnie Lyles who played with R. Kelly. Bobby Lyles did some incredible he worked with Ronnie Laws. Did some good stuff. And I know about Cyrus Chestnut. Yeah. Yeah, he's tried everything. That's true. Ain't no great value. What I would say, like great value, more like great value. He tried to work with Snoop. That mess was. I did like the one with "I'm Not Your Lover." Not your the one he did with Kelly Price. I like that one. Not Your Girl. I like that one. The vocals. But his problem is that he always sings in the same cadence. He got a voice. He can play, but there's no selling there. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. And you gotta have the songs. It's just like with Raphael Sadiq. Raphael is nice for what he do as far as producing and arranging, but the soloist, it ain't happening. Cause he was lighting the cakes, that's why. He the one who looked like kind of looked like Teddy Riley a little bit, didn't have no personality. And Next wasn't that memorable to begin with. That was what we call a cute act who had a real catchy song and then they faded. And what happened? So um I'm gonna start Brandy. I'm gonna cut Ashanti. No, I'm gonna keep bench Ashanti, and I gotta cut Keisha Cole. I like looking at Keisha Cole, and I like looking at Ashanti actually. But yeah, Brandy gonna start over. Brandy's more of a starter. Ashanti got a pen game. Keisha's a hood chick. She got a little something, but she ain't got neither one to touch neither one of them. Yep, Brandy was nice. The one with yeah. She had hood hits. Hood hits. I remember that love song. She tried to hit that note and she scared me. Oh, no, stop. She was a great value Mary J. Blige, the Walmart great value. That's what she was for her generation. And no one talks about Keisha Cole. So stop. Because if she had game, Beyonce, Alicia Keys, Rihanna left her in the parking lot. Okay? Just stop, man. You can like her, but don't get mad when people. I'm gonna start Hardcast. Yep, I'm starting Hardcast. So Brian Culberson will be all right. All right gets cut. I like all right, okay, but that smooth stuff kind of put me to sleep. But I Paul Hardcastle. If you couldn't get Art of Noise, you had Paul Hardcastle, and I like Culberson. Oh yeah, you got hood hits. That's what they were. That's what they were. Cause when she did all that stuff with Tyrese, those were hood hits. Ain't nobody sitting around going mid. She's a mid. And depending what kind of is she better than Anne Marie? Because when Anne Marie had that one thing song was doing the DC Go Go thing. Are they about the same? East what you could saw the West Coast East Coast version of the same coin. You know. Better at being more versatile. Not a better artistry, but it's so if I was talking versatility, let me explain. So when she worked with M and she did with J and then she did with Breathe, the different things, you can do a lot with her style as a stylist. The others are more contrived. Now they're better, they're more talented than her, but she's able to pull off things that they can't. Like it doesn't come across like it's trying to be hip. But to say she's better than them, well, that says those others suck because they got better voices, except for Alicia Keys and Taylor Swift. But Beyonce and Mariah should sing Rihanna under a table backwards and to a bathroom stall and back. Alicia Keys should be able to roll her out, but if she starts hitting them froggy notes, it's pathetic. And Taylor Swift is about almost as soulful as Rihanna, so that's a debate in itself. So there you go. I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start Olivia Newton John, and I'm gonna cut, and I'm gonna bench Gaga, trade Taylor Swift for somebody else, and get rid of Juice Newton. Oh yeah, Sanborn was a bad boy. I mean, I still listen to Straight from the Heart, and I loved when he worked with Marcus Miller. I loved a lot of stuff he did as his playing. His playing was tight. Sanborn was a bad dude. I liked his style. It's because when I say Juice Newton, it's because that's how corny Taylor Swift was. It's like some old elementary school teacher was playing three chords on the guitar and with an apple, and she's just the most dullest, nondescript person, and that's what they remind me of. I don't have no love for Alicia Keys. No way. I'm not tripping about her personal life. She just bores me to tears. That's all. She just bores me. I don't really pay a lot of attention to anything because I know, but she's not much there to pay attention to. And dude's still happy, so I don't know. Yeah, our part was cool. He's cool. He's cool. I'm not bedazzled, but he's cool. I had to hear her doing a cover of Earth, Wind, and Fire September, and that's one of the worst things I have ever heard in my life. So, no, eh. Angel in the morning, baby. Because even Shaggy did a cover of that. She had a couple hits. Art Porter is a vocalist, I remember. I keep kind of want to get him mixed up with David Porter, but he ain't that. But he good though. Yeah. Oh yeah. See, that's why you don't mention no Taylor Swift around me because if you're Earth, Wind, and Fire fan, that was one of the worst cover versions I've ever heard. It was soulless. It was dreck. Yeah. You know. I had to catch it on that one day when they halfway act like they care to report some real news because some of that stuff they be putting out is just booey booty. Too hot. Cool in the game. That's one of the best breakup songs I've ever heard. Oh, it's too hot, too hot, lady. Gotta run for cover, gotta run for shade. Oh, it's too hot, too hot, lady. If you can sing that James J.T. Taylor part, and that song, I love that. I love that groove. Yeah. Okay, I'm getting ready to go in about 3 minutes. I always like. I think I would start. I think Royce was actually better than he gets credit for. So I'm gonna go with Royce. Then Lupe gonna get benched, and Beanie gets cut. I used to like Beanie, but he never got no better. Too Hot's a cold song, and After Love Is Gone, Earth, Wind, and Fire, cool in the game. That song's got a cold groove. It's a cold song. We've already had this discussion, so I already told you I'm taking Beat It. I think 1999 is a funky song, but Beat It just still, it still gets to me though. Only the title track for the Vamp, and I like Let It Go, but the album was kind of like lackluster. He sounded like he was just doing contract filler to me. Didn't really care much for it. I think had a couple decent vamps, but I just think that he just was going through the motions. A lot of records sounded like somebody that just was trying to get out their deal. Yep. Um, my name is. Funny you mention it too. Yeah, because my name is works great with that sample. Yeah. I like how he did it. In My name is. And ironically, about Lebo Stuffery, uh, he's a gay dude, and I say that because that's ironic. With you know, yeah, Penny Ford was cool. Heard some stuff, so it's kind of funny that Eminem and Dre used that. Considering the phobia, yeah, I'm familiar with Penny Ford. Next should be mentioned Cheryl Pepsi Riley, keyboardist, and Google should be your friend. Go listen him up. I want you to go listen to some of these artists, so when you ask me questions, you can give me your honest take on them, because that's what we did. Thank you. I shall be back in a couple of days. I should be back on Tuesday. Um, I'll be on for as every time what I'm from now on, regardless of how many people come through, I'm giving y'all 2 hours at least. Snoop. But I will say this though. Ice T was the blueprint for him and a lot of others, which a lot of people who don't know or choose not to, they slept on. So I will say that. That's the sad part too, because a lot of people don't even give Ice T his due. But he was a blueprint. It's just that Snoop, they ran with stuff. It got more mainstream. When T was doing it, you could but you remember he did do New Jack City, so he played himself out there, but he was a blueprint for a lot of those cats, so that's what's up. Yeah, I'll be back in a couple of days, more or less around the same time. So keep your eyes on. Appreciate everyone that came through, and have a wonderful day. If you celebrate Father's Day, the best. If you don't, that's cool. Welcome to summer, NBA trade deadline, baseball season. We talk about whatever. Whatever y'all want to talk about next time I come through, artists, appreciate you all. Thank you always for the support, the love, blessings, peace, and I'm outro.